So you want to be a demon hunter and didn't understand anything that Illidan taught you? Then Quicks is the place for you to be. We will quickly teach you what Demoness Hunters are, from how to button smash 3 spells all the way up to 5 spells with your cooldowns, and what pros and cons to expect. Havocing as a Demon Hunter, you will have the same goal as most of the DPS, generate Fury and spend it on damage dealing abilities. Your main abilities to generate Fury will be Demon's Bite and Immolation Aura. Thanks to some talents, you can get Fellblade as a good generator, and also I-Beam can be transformed into a generator as well with the Blind Fury talent. You'll have some long recharging spells, which we refer to as cooldowns. One of your most important long cooldowns will be Metamorphosis. This will deal damage where you land, it will stun your targets, it will reset the cooldown of your I-Beam together with Blade Dance, and will transform the latter plus Chaos Strike into a better version of themselves, on top of providing you with a big ass haste increase. Your main Fury spending abilities will be Chaos Strike, your single target smasher, so smash that button as hard as you can. Blade Dance, a small AoE damage that can be transformed into a single target hitter as well with the right talents, and I-Beam, a small bursty AoE spender that can be transformed into a full Fury bar generator, also with the right talents. The better you will be at pressing the right ability at the right time and not wasting time holding them off cooldown, the better DPS you will deal. As a Havoc Demon Hunter, your mastery is Demonic Presence. However, the stat in question will be your least desired one. The passive will increase the damage of your Chaos damage abilities and your movement speed, making you faster and able to dodge almost every mechanic. Your main passive, Shattered Souls, has only the healing part working as of Shadowlands, since you hardly find any demons in order to kill to get that 20% damage increase. The Demonic Ward's passive will make you a little tankier than your other friends when getting hit by magic damage. These passives don't really impact your gameplay, instead they strengthen your core performance. A small but very powerful cooldown will be I-Beam. This short channeled spell will enable small burst windows every 30 seconds thanks to the demonic talent. A very important thing to note is that you should never interrupt an I-Beam, only if getting hit by something will get you killed. Why? Well, because I-Beam has a former Azurite trait baked into it that will increase your haste for 12 seconds if you fully channel it. As you know from earlier, Metamorphosis is your big cooldown that defines your spec. It will let your demon from within get out and wreak havoc all around. What you need to keep in mind when using meta is that you should have both I-Beam and Blade Dance, if using the First Blood talent, on cooldown for a higher burst damage and to not hurt your rotation. Your defensive cooldowns will be Blur and Darkness. Firstly, Blur is a 1-minute cooldown that can be reduced by your conduits to almost 42 seconds. It will reduce all damage you take by 20% baseline and can be increased by a talent. On top of that, it will also increase your dodge chance by 50%. It's a pretty neat cooldown that can help you even tank a boss for a bit or take some debuffs instead of your tank and survive the hits. Darkness is a very strong cooldown that can affect every player around you, and it can decide if they die or not during a mechanic, as it has a chance to absorb all of the damage a target would take while standing in it. From certain points of view, your damage profile being a constant one with short, small burst windows from I-Beam and the demonic talent can be an asset, since you will not be reliant on large DPS cooldowns or be punished by mechanics that force you to stop your big DPS window. You can easily swap targets without having to hold onto your cooldowns, and if a little more AoE burst is needed, you can easily swap to Unbound Chaos plus Fell Barrage at the cost of a little more consistent damage. You are a very mobile class thanks to your mastery, Fell Rush, Vengeful Retreat, and even double jumping and gliding. A little will help you get faster from point A to point B. This mobility plus the Chaos Brand debuff you leave on your targets will make you a very desirable spec in both raids and dungeons when you have a lot of magic damage dealing friends. Your crowd control is decent. You have access to 3 stuns if you count Chaos Nova, Metamorphosis, and Fell Eruption, provided you talent into it. 2 slows in Vengeful Retreat and Glaive Throw, also if you talent into Master of the Glaive, And depending on the type of ads you will fight, Imprison is a good 1 minute CC that can even interrupt spellcasts when using it mid-fight. Another very good aspect of playing a Demon Hunter is that your self-sustain plus your demonic wards and very short damage reduction cooldowns will make failing mechanics a little less punishing for you versus other classes, as you will most likely survive them and you can spec into Netherwalk if your group needs one extra immunity to cheese a mechanic. As for your cons, sometimes not having big burst potential can hold you back when you want to speed up a raid phase or quickly kill a target before it gets to do lots of damage to your group. Execute phases are not your strong suit either, and by that I mean situations where you fight a boss, it reaches a low percentage of health and your group wants to sink everything into it before it gets to enrage or start a new set of mechanics. Lastly, you have to choose between self-sustain or immunity, unlike in Legion when the class was released, where you could have both. As you can check in our guides, both talent builds are very easy to use, but the easiest and the one that will work in every type of content is the one you see on your screen right now, the default build. You only need to swap the soul bind sometimes, depending on the encounter. We hope you enjoyed this quick presentation of how Havoc works and you have a better understanding of the spec in general. If you are thirsty for more information regarding the spec, check out our full guide on our channel.